Hold up, 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 hold that, hold that, hold that, hold that, hold that, hold that thought for 1 second. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Next Mood Swings, this weekly review. I had the craziest conversation with myself, and I came up with this. I just had an epiphany about Beyonce and the VMAs and Britney and Nicki, and it all just like came to me today, and so we need to talk about it. But before we do, let's just get into this intro. Welcome back, y'all, to this weekly review. If you are sitting there watching this on a computer, on a phone, please just hit that little like button. And then if you could hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my ex done fucked up all my other YouTube channels. So we starting fresh. We starting new. You know what I'm saying? So that would help me out a lot. I would appreciate it because I see y'all coming back. So let's build the community. You already know who I got in the building this week. We got Miss Courtney Stewart. What up, boo?
Hello.
There we go. I had to get that mic unmuted real quick. Courtney's over there in California. You in that heat over there?
Ooh, child, crazy over here. We're here praying that our electricity stays on because they talking about you got to reduce your electrical use. We don't mess up the grid.
Well, we ain't trying to mess up no grid, but someone whose grid was messed up. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to show my representation of Clueless here. Y'all.
Ooh, child.
Y'all.
Mess.
I
mess.
mean, you know,
A mess.
Look, Stacy Dash, we all know who she is. I think the last time we loved Stacy Dash was probably in this movie. But so Stacy Dash, who I'm not even getting to who she is, what beyond all that, but she came out with a video. She always coming out with something, in which she's in. I didn't realize she was in that BET, the College Hill thing, the celebrity one.
I think I heard that with Nene and like RHOD something.
Yeah. I saw a clip from it. But anyway, so she came out and she released this video of her crying where she just realized the other day that DMX passed away. And obviously the internet had its fun. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, watching it, the initial reaction is to be like, is this hoe serious? Like, is she serious right now? But then, I don't know, like, as I listened to it, it was just more sad to me. Like, you're that disconnected from the world, which is crazy because you work in entertainment, you work in media, and to, you know, not know this, like, and that it moved you in that way. So I don't know if she was or she felt like she was close to DMX, or if it was genuinely just finding out that he lost to an addiction and that was her trigger. I think that is the more important thing that to pull from this video. Obviously, it's funny, but it just, to me, it was more sad, like, that, wow, this poor girl just sitting in this room, just, it was giving Britney Spears tea. What did you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Stacy Dash, so I automatically assume it's some kind of insanity. But when you like roll back and think about it, the emotions seem to be honest and real. So it hurt to watch. There's no pleasure in watching someone in pain, and she looked like she was really honestly in pain. And I know we're laughing, like, obviously DMX died, what, has it been over a year at this point? Or it's right around a year or something like that?
About a year.
About a year. My other initial thought was maybe she was somewhere like in like an inpatient treatment program or something, and she just hasn't been a part of the outside world for quite some time, and she's been hopefully protecting her own peace and dealing with her own addiction issues, and maybe that's why she just was completely oblivious and unaware. Which, if that is the case, God bless her. And not that I know anything about her necessarily being in treatment or whatever, but I know she's had some issues in the past, and perhaps that would be an explanation as to why she was so disconnected from the
Right, and I that's where my mindset went to all of this, was that Wendy Williams is also being brought up. I mean, the only reason I brought this up is because I think it's happening. It's interesting that I feel like it's being promoted in the world of hosts and then also happening in the world of female hip hop. But Wendy Williams is being brought up. There is a rumored source that claims that Wendy is very upset with her celebrity friends, one including, which I didn't know they were friends, but Oprah. Rumor has it Oprah reached out to Sherri Shepherd to wish her well and give her some advice for the new talk show. Wendy apparently has this, once her this is all alleged because I don't actually think this is really happening. I don't see Wendy Williams like calling up Real Housewives like, don't go on Sherry's show. I just don't see that happening. But apparently this person says that Wendy is upset that Oprah, I mean, I don't even look at Oprah reaching out to Sherry as taking her under her wing. I just think that, working in Hollywood, you realize that there are two different types of Hollywood. There's the world of Oprah, and then there's the world of Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams in entertainment is not actually like looked at as a good person. Like, the reason Wendy Williams show I believe was taken down was, I personally believe it's because a lot of people in Hollywood don't want her having a certain amount of power. Personally, this is what I feel. Because of the way she delivers news. A lot of journalists, a lot of people in that field don't think highly of her. They look at her as trash TV. But this trash TV. So I could imagine Oprah in her mindset, like, I'm not going to give Wendy that. Like, girl, like. Because then it puts her in that category. Now, Sherry has a little cleaner of an image, and that works for the network. I feel like that works for Oprah's image. Did you hear this rumor? And like, what is your whole take with Oprah reaching out to one over the other? Or do we see Wendy trying to put up a petition against the Sherri Shepherd show?
If I'm being all the way honest, I don't necessarily believe that Wendy is of enough of her own right mind to even take the time to deal with what's going on with the Sherri show. And also, in terms of like celebrity friends, Wendy always was very clear that these people are her friends and that like she would just go home and live her life and this was just work. And like once she was kind of out in the streets a little bit more after her divorce, it was kind of surprising that people were embracing her and helping her do things in terms of celebrities, because she's never had those types of relationships with the celebrities because of the way she did her news. So all of this sounds like in the end bullshit to me. I don't believe any
of it. I 100% agree. I just think also it's like, is this being pushed out just to keep Wendy's name in the, blogs or whatever? Because again, this rumored source, like, it's too much. Like, I'm tired of the TikTok news. Like, I want actual facts. Like, does Wendy feel like that? Because Wendy hasn't come out and spoken about that. She's talked about how she feels in, her general way. But I think we got to wait for this podcast, see what Wendy really feels, see how she addresses people now. Although that video of her talking about she wants to have sex and, like, I just don't understand this whole, like, sexual renaissance thing. Like, look, I mean, I'm all down for like, get your thing. Because that Madonna video, I don't know if y'all saw this Madonna video that went out. Like, it was like her being asked questions. It looked like how Vogue does that like 70 questions thing. It was 40 questions in like 2 minutes. And so Madonna's like running around this horse stable. And she just, her answers for most of the things was like sex, big dick, I want to fuck. And it's just like, girl, like, you're like 80, which, you know what I mean? Again, hey, I love sex that much at 80 years old. But like, is it that? Like, so is this just your thing? Like, as Madonna, like, at every age, you're just going to prove that you own your sexuality, and at 80 years old, you can still be sexy, which is what, and she's probably not even 80. She's probably like She's got to be in her
She's
70s.
not. I think she's like 63,
Really?
65. She might be 65. Yes, because I think she's younger than my parents. And my dad is just now about to turn 70.
Okay, well, so then she's what's her name from Golden Girls? Like, you know, we'll
She's Blanche.
She's
Devereaux.
Blanche.
Yeah, she's
Um,
Blanche Devereaux.
I don't
Wow,
know.
we just call her Blanche Devereaux.
So, all right, I want to get into the VMAs because we have so much to go through because reality TV was awesome this week, and I want to get into that. But we obviously have to talk about the VMAs. This was a really interesting VMA for me personally because it's been a while since I've been excited to watch an award show. Obviously, I was excited because Nicki Minaj was going to be given the Vanguard Award. Y'all know I love Nicki. And I think that she was 100% deserving of this. And so I was excited for it. I was interested to see how MTV, because every year has been different, how MTV handles the Vanguard. I personally think, after watching this, Rihanna had the best Vanguard episode. Reason being, she performed throughout the whole show. It was like little medleys throughout the show of all of our favorite Rihanna songs. And that just, to me, felt complete. It felt like the night belonged to her. This one did feel like the night, because the worst one was Britney Spears, and that was the first one they did. It was like, which I get now listening to, Britney, but like, it was like a bunch of like fourth graders coming, toddlers and tiaras, and they were like, it was just like a little circus. It was just like everyone just doing like dance recitals to Britney Spears. It was like, what is this? Like, could we not like get like a celebrity to come out and sing "Baby One More Time" or something? Like, what's going on? Like, okay, fine, Britney can't perform. This one, I do know that like obviously Nicki Minaj is a personality, so she probably wanted to host. I also don't get. Just let LL Cool J host. Just let LL host by himself. Every time LL hosts a show, they always throw him with some random girl. It's like ladies love Cool J. Okay, girl, we get it. We get it. You want to put him with a pretty girl and whatever. But to me, he's entertaining enough. We know who he is. I don't need oh my god, whatever his name, the Hobbit looking kid.
The Hobbit.
Drake 3.0, Jack Harlow. He don't really look like the Hobbit. He looked like the half.
I was gonna say,
no, he looked more like the guy that played like the half fawn, half human, whatever that creature is.
Well, I was gonna say he does kind of look like the Hobbit, but like not because of being little, but like
no, yeah, just like from the waist up, it's giving like fawn, and then from the waist down, it's like deer legs. Like that's who he gives me. I'm just not a Jack Harlow fan. I'm happy he brought Fergie out because, again, Fergie was the best celebrity I've ever worked with in my entire life. She's so gracious, and I just love that she came out. She did her thing, kept it cute, look cute doing it. Shout out to Jordan in the chat. He said the VMAs need to be retired. LOL. Nicki was fun though. Ooh. Okay, but before we get into Nicki though, here's my question to you. Overall, what did you think of the fashion this year? Oh.
I feel like I shouldn't even be commenting on the VMAs at all because I clearly emotionally checked out of the VMAs at least 5 years ago at this point. And I always go back. It's like a horrible boyfriend. You go back and you're hoping it's going to be like better this time around, even though it already fell off a long time ago. And it's just still trash. Like I just think it's such a shell of what it used to be. And the VMAs were like my favorite award show. Literally. And I can remember like deciding to work in entertainment, like one of the things that was exciting, like possibly getting invited to go to the VMAs. Like we all wanted that. Like it was the place to be. It was fun. It was great. Like I don't feel nothing no more. The fashions was, whatever. Everybody's trying to like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what everybody's trying to do. Like the fashion to me was just, I literally can't name one person that I was like, that was fire.
Yeah, everything was felt
You
like
know,
it felt like a watered down Met Gala. So if you're watching this and you are younger than, I mean, 28, maybe I'll give you maybe if you're younger than 30, you probably haven't really seen a good VMA.
yeah.
Probably. The VMAs were better than the Grammys. I mean, the VMAs. I remember, everyone goes back to that Britney and the Snake one. I go before that because I'll never forget when Britney did. This is how it really hasn't even been that long in the world of music and where we are today compared to when Britney did Oops, I Did It Again, and she ripped off that black suit. And the girl had on a full-on leotard, but it was a nude leotard. And when I tell you, everyone gasped thinking she was butt naked on that stage. And
Oh,
and we talked about it for the next 2 weeks
yeah.
in
Yeah.
sync. There was such a build up to this show. So I, was watching this one. And I just was like, I feel like the VMAs has gotten too focused on everything but what the VMAs stand for. I don't want to know who the best new artist is personally. That's for the Grammys. The VMAs to me is about video music. It's the Video Music Awards. It's about music videos. And I feel like MTV really needs to reel it the fuck back because, I mean, the celebrities at this thing, it was like, were there, how many musical artists? It felt like Taylor Swift was paid to be there, to be quite
Oh
honest.
yeah. Yeah. She looked like she just was like, all right, I'll come.
Literally.
Like,
And I think the only reason they got any sort of celebrity was these people were genuinely fans of Nicki Minaj, and I think Nicki Minaj carried the show. That's why we were there. I could have cared less about anything else.
well, they had what's his name? What's his name? Bad Bunny.
Which he wasn't even there. But to be quite honest with you, Bad Bunny to me, his concert looked more lit than the VMAs. Other than when Nicki performed. When Nicki performed and she came out, I mean, I'm not going to lie. First of all, the way y'all did her was crazy. No one even presented her. It was just like all of a sudden cut from a commercial break, silhouette of Nicki Minaj. And then all of a sudden, what? Like Roman's Revenge starts? I've been waiting for Nicki Minaj to perform Roman's Revenge on like a platform for years. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we get it? Like what? She didn't give us the full thing, but then again, showing why she is Nicki Minaj, one of the greatest female hip hop artists, and not only one of the greatest artists of all time. Nicki Minaj performed Monster with no music, just her vocals, literally just freestyling. And you could hear that entire room singing every verse. And that just made me so happy for her. And to see people that the media puts against Nicki supporting her, like they really be trying to build this Lil Nas versus Nicki Minaj thing. And he was like crying watching her. Shout out to Latto. And I'm going to get into Latto, why I think Latto's winning right now. But she was so gracious and she was so excited to see Nicki perform. Overall, I think Nicki did great. She looked beautiful. I get that her performance outfit, it was giving Bratz doll, but it's iconic. It's gimmicky. It's a part of what she does, and for that, it made sense. The overall thing, the blue contacts definitely could have done without, but I get it was a nod to Beam Me Up, Scotty, but like. But shout out to Nicki. That was the highlight because look, I was gonna come on here and bash Blackpink, but then I was like, before I bash Blackpink, let me get into Blackpink. Let me just see who Blackpink really is, because that performance, I was like,
what is happening?
Right, but I get them when you watch their music videos. I get it, and they have this dance video. I get it when you watch that, but like, I don't know. I guess I'm getting old because. Baby.
I'm definitely getting old because I don't. It did not entertain me at all. But congratulations, Nicki. You got your award. And performed. But I would pick apart the performance a little bit myself. But that is my overall criticism of Nicki, not specifically that performance. But she's worked hard for a long time, and she deserves way more than she has, I think, gotten in terms of accolades and support. So happy Vanguard Award.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing that everyone's talking about is her, her speech. She came out and she thanked all the artists who gave her an opportunity, which, I mean, very rarely do we actually see celebrities giving other big celebrities that kind of like nod. I think, if someone does a song with them, but like to go back 20 years and name every big artist that really has put you on a track, I think that was really cool. Especially the fact that she, without a flinch, in no shady way, brought up Mariah Carey's name, because we know the infamous feud that Mariah and Nicki had. And so I think it's cool because even before this on Queen Radio, Nicki was like singing a Mariah Carey song. The fact that she doesn't allow that to, mess with the fact that she understands the power of Mariah Carey. Where the question comes now is Lil Kim. And I bring this up because the VMAs, obviously, were pushing Nicki Minaj. And while that was happening, people on Twitter started this movement, where's Lil Kim? And because, they just, when Nicki gets her thing, it's like the Cardi game, the Nicki game, the Kim game, they all just come out and they're like, nah. Look, to try and bash Nicki Minaj because you want Lil Kim to get a Vanguard award makes no sense to me. It's like, be mad at MTV. That's the only person you can get mad at the end of the day. Lil Kim is not putting out music right now. She hasn't put out music. And when she does, no offense, I love Lil Kim, she's not putting out good music. Now, is Super Freaky Girl good music? No, but it's catchy, it's commercial, it's pop, and Nicki Minaj is showing that she can still, 15 years later, run in the game with the rest of the kids. Lil Kim hasn't put something like that out. We haven't heard anything like that from Lil Kim to be quite honest with you.
You want to?
Well, no, I don't want to, because the things that I've heard personally that she has put out, I haven't been a fan. Like I said, Lil Kim to me fell off after that GOAT mixtape. When that came out, that to me is one of her best projects she's ever put out, that mixtape. And that was one of the final things before, jail and all that. But
when was that? Oh,
I can't remember if it came out right after she got out or right before she went in. I cannot remember that, but it was after the Shut Up, Bitch, after that album. And it was before Black Friday.
What is that? 09? 08? 09?
Something like that. Yeah, probably around there, because that was when Gimme More came out, and she did the Gimme More remix. All that to say, Lil Kim is iconic. She is. Her fashion, what she did for female hip hop. Before jail, Jordan says, before jail, Kim was better. Agreed. Like, Lil Kim is iconic. She is hip hop. Nicki Minaj came in the game and took the pieces from all of it, because I don't look at Nicki Minaj and say, oh, she's a cookie cutter Lil Kim. I look at Nicki Minaj and I say, oh, she listened to Missy Elliott for sure, Lil Kim for sure, and whoever else, you know what I'm saying? Which she's always given that nod to. If you watch past interviews with Nicki Minaj, she's always given Lil Kim that. Something happened between them. So at this award show, she didn't bring Lil Kim's name up. But also, Lil Kim has never helped her or whatever that she feels that Mariah Carey did, or because Mariah Carey has beef with her. So I just think it's crazy. I think it's just, I went through this, you guys. Trust me, I get it. I went through this. The same thing you're going through with Lil Kim, I went through it with Britney Spears. And there just comes a time where you just have to let it go. You just have to say, unfortunately, we are not here. And this person, Lil Kim, has been through shit in life. And sometimes life is more important than entertaining the masses. And maybe Lil Kim's focus right now, that's what it is. And she's just enjoying her motherhood, because she is one of the mothers of hip hop. It just is what it is. We know that. We respect that. BT just gave her the same similar type of award a few years ago. We got, all the performances and all that jazz.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember Brandy and all them came out. It was a real cute little situation. Yeah. But, I brought up Latto, and I brought up Latto because I think the VMAs this year made me realize how much I actually do like Latto. And what I like about Latto is I think she's playing the game correctly out of all the girls, because the girls are fighting, the girls are out here, I'm into it. I feel like we're in this Y2K renaissance right now. We got Beyonce, Britney, Nicki, we got, what I'm saying, like Wendy Williams is coming back. Like, it's just like all the old shit's just coming back. I'm here for it. I support it, all that jazz. But with Latto, I feel like she stays out of the drama, because there was drama. People were trying to pit Latto versus Nicki, and is this one following that one? And I feel like Latto just stays out of all the mess. She puts out catchy songs.
Good music.
Yep. She puts out, good music with, good visuals. She's working with right people, you know what I mean? She got Mariah Carey on a single. She did I think the Santana song was smart because it attaches her in a way to Beyonce. Without her doing a song with Beyonce, it attaches her there. So I think she's just making smart plays. I think her going to the VMAs, because if you notice, a lot of the rap girls didn't go to the VMAs. Funny, you don't want to support women in hip hop. But there was Latto. She did, and she, whatever bad things have been said about Latto, she smiled and she said, I can't wait to see Nicki. I'm so excited. Gracious. I love that. And then you go out and you perform your thing. You know what I mean? You drop in your music. She dropped her music video for Boss Bitch. It was it was giving like womanizer, Britney womanizer, just no dancing and like just basic. But like, this is what we just need. We just need a song, a visual, keep it cute and keep it pushing. And she probably knew like Nicki's coming out with whatever, her super freaky girl. You said what?
She did good cameos in it. She did good cameos or had good cameos in the video. Chloe Bailey, I think, was it Ella in there?
Yeah, she had Halle Bailey.
Halle, not Chloe, sorry. Or somebody said Chloe was in there, and
she might have been, because she had a bunch, which is interesting because a lot of people were saying like that there were rumored going to be a lot of cameos in the Nicki video, and then this video dropped, and this was where all the cameos were. Either or, I think Latto is honestly coming up, sweeping to get that spot to sweep Sweetie right out of her place. Because this, to me, what Latto is doing.
I mean, ain't Sweetie gone?
You said what?
I said, ain't Sweetie gone? Where is Sweetie?
Girl, first of all, she got this one song with John Legend right now, and I'm just like, who put this together and thought this was like a thing? Like innovation, okay, but no, it's just no. To me, what Latto is doing is what Sweetie was supposed to do, but I think because Sweetie was so green in the performance area, this is where Latto was able to kind of come up and take that spot. I still love Sweetie. I think there's room, again, for everyone. Marketing-wise, when I talk about coming for the spot, that's what I'm talking about. Similar way that Chloe did Normani. Whether we want to talk about it or not, maybe one day.
Yeah, it's like, where's Normani?
Right, that should have been the hashtag over the VMAs, because
hashtag where's Normani? Because even weren't the last VMAs actually? Is that where Normani did the performance where she climbed all up on the thing with the guy and like she was hotness, and then Chloe performed and suddenly Normani no longer existed? Didn't that just happen last year?
Sure did. Stole her soul.
I'm like, was that the VMAs or the Grammys? I don't know. Yeah. Oops.
Girl, first of all, Normani is not performing at the Grammys. no shade, but like.
What? I mean, I don't know. Grammys is just as.
Trust me, I get
off as the VMAs are these days.
Trust me, I get it. Also, we got the Super Freaky Girl music video that dropped today with Nicki Minaj. You know, she had posted this cryptic thing yesterday about how she's going to drop the video. She was like, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. And then alluded to that there's another artist whose PR team was scrambling now that Nicki announced the video was going to drop, that their PR team was scrambling to try and drop something too. But she said, but never mind, they learned their lesson last time. So a lot of people are tying that to Megan Thee Stallion, who dropped her Traumazine album the same day as Super Freaky Girl. Who knows if that's true? Again, this is all hearsay, and who knows who Nicki is talking about. Who knows? It could be nobody.
Wow.
The other thing is, if I was these girls, I would be like, girl, let's just like housewives it up and act like we all hate each other and just get everyone to talk shit about us so they just buy all of our music. That makes
I really think they're doing that. I really think they're doing that because no matter what, the press always pits women against each other. And at this point, I think they're way too smart and savvy about the way things work in terms of the marketing that they would allow it to actually be true. So I feel like they're all just playing into it because it works.
Yeah, and I mean it does because again, like it made me want to go look at the Latto video. I was not gonna go check for the Latto song. Like again, I love Latto, but like
I'm like, what do you mean you weren't checking for it? The album is
no, I love the album, but like again, Latto isn't a visual that for me. She's just not a visual. Like the Super Freaky Girl video,
I agree.
I'll never watch that. I probably won't watch that video again. But it had a story. It was entertaining. The Boss Bitch video was just imagery, and it's like Meg Thee Stallion gives me this like already. Like you on top of a silver plat thing. Like it's just the same things over and over. I'm just tired of it. Super Freaky Girl, I honestly was tired. I mean, girl, whatever, sure. Just
I'm tired of that too.
Right. But here's
that's my complaint about Nicki is I want new visuals. I feel like Nicki is way more talented than she shows us.
Oh, I definitely agree. But I also think Nicki Minaj is in I don't want to say depression, because it's not that I think she's depressed. I think she's just in a very weird, insecure space that I think would be really hard to even have someone around her that could even relate to what she's probably even going through. As when you hit that certain level, you know what I mean? Like look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, but Beyonce has Jay-Z. I don't feel like Nicki has somebody in her corner of status to really be there for her. And, you know, her man he got his own stuff going on, and he needs to stay out the press. You know, stay out. You know what I mean? If who knows, we don't know what happened, who apologized, what nothing. So
you don't care.
And at the end of the day, I don't want to care. I don't want to know about it. I watch old videos of Nicki perform with Safari, and I just like, oh, Safari, why'd y'all have to fuck up? Because I really liked Nicki with Safari. Her personality was so much more free, and I feel like she really felt like she had somebody on her team. And when you feel that kind of safe in love, with whether it's friends, family, you can take over the world. And I feel like Nicki's now in this place of it doesn't feel stable to me. But again, the rollout's been great for a song that is, you know, not my favorite Nicki Minaj song. The rollout for this has been great. But here's my question, because it hit me today when I was thinking about this video for Nicki. I got to myself and I said, I actually at this point don't even need the video for this. Like, we've already gotten past the VMAs. She's already hit #1. The song's doing well. It's going to be played in the clubs. Like, I don't need a video for it. Which is crazy because that's the first thing I usually want. And then I thought to myself, why the fuck did Nicki take so long to drop the video? And why the fuck is Beyonce taking so long to drop visuals? And it hit in my head. Well, then this is where I said I had the conversation with myself. Do music videos even matter in 2022?
No.
But is Beyonce about to reinvent the music video experience? You have to think, when we were younger, the music video to us was a build up, because we didn't have YouTube. We had to watch the TV. It was a build up of, we got to see how the video was put together, and then you got to the end and it was going to be this spectacular thing, and you went on this journey with the artist and you believed in the song even more and you felt it and you wanted to dress like it and do all this stuff. Nowadays it's like, you can make a music video on your phone. Right? I mean, literally, I think Selena Gomez did 2 videos on an Apple phone. So where I think the music video is, and this was the test with Nicki, I think it's like, can we push the song without a video? Yes. But where I'm interested to see is Beyonce holding out to make us crave those visuals, so that when Beyonce drops the visuals, it's like a lemonade. It's like a full, the visuals are actually a project. What's your take on music videos nowadays?
I mean, clearly, again, I can't speak for the young folks these days, so perhaps it is my age. I don't seek out music videos, and I'm always amazed, like, oh, there's a video to this? And like, I'll know a song and be like, it never even occurs to me to go find the video anymore, like, at all. And I 100% agree with you. Like, it used to be, you're going to find the video immediately. Like, you're excited about the video. Like, that is a very specific part of your consuming of the music experience. And I don't feel that way anymore. And as far as, because even with Beyonce, obviously I want the visuals from the album just because it's Beyonce and I want to know what she does with it and blah, blah, blah. But it's not hindering me from playing the album and being all into the music. So I get it. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of them have already done like short film versions to attempt whatever, like Lemonade kind of was a consecutive chronological situation with the album. And she'll probably maybe do the same thing again, or maybe she won't do anything at all. Or maybe she's going to drop all 3 parts that are supposed to exist first, and then we're going to get a movie that's the visual for the whole 3 things, all 3 pieces of work. So
I mean, yeah, I could see that too, because obviously stuff is shot. Like, we've seen the scenes, we've seen this spectacle that she gave us this little clip of. So what that turns into, I don't know. I'm excited. She's got me excited. But then on the flip side of that is, I've listened to her album so many times now, I have a visual in my own head. Yeah. So now is her visual going to make me feel the way that I already have envisioned this?
But maybe that's the point.
Well, right, because she did say, let's just let the music live and enjoy itself. We're going to work slow with this album. So, and then I saw something that they're going to do the On the Run tour, 2-tour documentary on Netflix they're releasing. Or something.
Like from the last tour? Didn't they already do that?
Well, I know they did the On the Run. They played the On the Run, but it wasn't a documentary, right? It was just the concert.
I have no idea.
I saw something about something, but who knows? It wasn't a legit source. It was just, I just be scrolling on TikTok and be seeing what y'all be saying, and sometimes y'all just be saying crazy stuff.
Just be saying stuff.
Just be saying stuff.
But I will say, I will be at whatever show, and it's not even, I'm not like a crazy Beyonce stan. Like, every show I've been to, like, I'm not buying expensive seats. Like, one time I went,
we saw that
for
Formation
free
tour, and we was up in the back.
Yeah, like, obviously, like, I'm not like a Beyonce stan, like, in an insane way, but I do want to see what she does in a concert for the album that she has put out. I am very interested in what that show is going to look like.
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to see her dance to this album, because this album is intense. So I'm just like, where are we gonna, you got that kind of stamina still, girl? Like,
yeah, and that's the other part. It's like, girl, you can still hit it like that. I cannot wait. Like, I can't wait. I want to see what we're doing. Okay. I want to.
So the VMAs, I feel like the VMAs triggered Miss Britney Spears, because the VMAs aired, and at the same time the VMAs aired, Britney dropped this YouTube video, this cryptic voice note YouTube of her telling her truth, or her side of the truth, or her version of it. Basically, it was about 22 minutes. She came out to, I mean, realistically, say everything we kind of have already figured out throughout the past year. But you hear these things, but then when it actually comes out of Britney, it's like, okay, we can now really take this information and run with it. But I did think everyone's trying to piece this together. She talked about how she was with a gay guy, in a relationship with a gay guy, and they were going to leave the country. And I think it was that Jason Stradwick guy, because he all of a sudden recently came out as gay on Instagram or something. And it was like, I can finally live in my true self, or whatever the case is. There's so much with this story. It is like, even with her giving this 22-minute, I'm putting in quotations, tell all, it was, I mean, I don't know if I left that voice recording sad. I left it with a lot of feelings. Sad, confused, like skeptical, because it was also just like, you know, you had to have listened back to this, like, and then you were like, yeah, I'm gonna hit send. Like, girl, like, the anger that she holds, and I get it. And I can't imagine what it would be like to feel like you had no voice for your entire life. So then when you finally have the ability, like, you're just like, fuck it. And you just hit record and you just say whatever you feel your truth is. You know, I can't be mad at that. You know, a lot of people were saying, like, she shouldn't have did it this way. She should have went on Oprah or whoever show and told her story. You know, it's 2022. We live in a different time and age. I actually think she should have left it up. She should have probably just dropped a 3-minute video on TikTok and called it a day. You know what I mean? Like, I just think we're in a new generation of that. But what was your overall take from listening to it? I think Courtney had a really interesting comment back. Like, it was something about it feels like she has no self-awareness or accountability. What was your, like, thought with that?
My primary thought is she needs help, and probably everybody in her family and around her needs help still, and that being quiet would be much more beneficial to all of them. At least in terms of public displays of this. And her her audio was 20 minutes long. It was exceptionally repetitive. Mm-hmm. She kept saying some of the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And at no point was there any acknowledgement of any issues on her part. Even if it turns out really she was just, you know, postpartum and had some struggles that would be totally understandable. She doesn't seem to own any of her own emotional issues that may or may, I think, are pretty evidently in existence on some level. Are they on the level that she needed a conservatorship and needed to be drugged for the last 13 years? Maybe not. But a lot of, you know, information in the court says otherwise, but that doesn't mean it couldn't have been manipulated to be more than it actually was. So I understand that, but like at this point, it's still not entirely everybody else's fault, because you are still an adult. And at some portion of that is what you've gone through and what's up with you. And she never seems to get to a place of being like, I was actually in pain. I had my babies and I didn't want to perform anymore. And I was emotionally like distraught. Like I didn't know what to do with myself, or whatever the issue was. I don't know what it was, but there was also her portion of what has occurred. She wasn't like a doll.
Do you feel like it's because right now the emotion she feels just coming out of this, the really only emotion she feels is like shock and anger? Like
possibly, but that's also why she should be talking to a therapist and not spreading all of this to the world. And she should be working through those feelings consistently, because I'm sure all of those things exist. But you come out and you want to spray the world with some information, but then, you know, every time something comes out, like then there's like information to prove that that's not entirely true. like even when she was talking about the mom stuff and then the text messages were edited it, like there's just a mess. It's just mess. And I feel like she's creating more mess for her own brain that is clearly probably in a complete mess because she has been locked up and taken advantage of and all of these horrible things for so long. And I don't think that's hopeful to her at all. And she still has children. And I believe she really loves her kids. And I don't think that anything that she is currently doing in terms of continuing to like blow all of this out, air all of this out publicly, is helpful to her kids or herself.
Right.
And those things to me aren't separate. So I would love, look, everybody get a right to do whatever they want to do, but I would love to see her just be quiet, stay in therapy, work on herself. And then when Britney's like 45, we get a full, even if it's a sit down by herself in front of a camera where she just gives her story because she wants to, great. But
Right.
that
Where
is
she has like clarity to really express what has been going on. Because I did have to sit there and say to myself, because let me tell you, when she, the first like sign I think we got was the Gimme More performance at the VMAs. And I genuinely for the longest time thought she fucked that performance up on purpose. Like I thought it was like a media thing. Like we always know Britney's performances are boom, 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 boom. So let's just do a shit one so everyone's talking about that. You know what I mean? All media is good media, right? And then like the Lil Kim, like I just had to get to the point years later and just say like she's gone. She's cooked. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if Nicki was saying, "Oh, that chicken's fried." But like I have to question at this point, is Britney Spears beyond coming back? Why I say that? I don't believe she is. I don't believe anyone is beyond coming back. I believe everyone can, but whether you do that work to bring yourself back is the question. Everyone is capable of doing it. It's just if you are willing to drop your ego enough to do the work to be able to go on that journey. Because at the end of the day, her anger and that repetitive conversation was about not trusting people. And I genuinely believe she's in a place where she doesn't trust anyone, which, fair enough to a point. I can't imagine what it would be like to be handled by people and have people who you think are trusting. We got off the show last week and I had told you some stuff about somebody that I thought was really close to me and, come to find out a whole nother life. It happens. It's life. But if that was my life with everybody around me, I don't know how that would affect me physically, mentally. Like, so I can imagine her feeling like, what the fuck? Like, and just like going crazy. But it's also like I look at that girl, Faye, right? The girl that we always remember. She used to be with Britney all the time. Like, where's she? Like, does Britney not trust her at all? Like, is there no, like, Britney could reach out to her? Like, there's nobody from the past that Britney, like, nowadays is like, you know what? This person was there for me through all of this, and my dad kicked them out. I want to bring them back. Like, I just don't see... I just want to make sure, like, a normal person is around her. Because, again, with the Sam guy... people are talking about maybe he's not even there for the right reasons, or maybe he is. I don't know what his, mentality is like. Is he a positive, productive person for her to be around? I know she has this sex thing, so like clearly they fucking all the time. So I don't know. It's just I think whatever tell-all movie is gonna be made, whatever Lifetime comes out of this, is gonna be good. And
I just hope she gets healthy and we don't get a tragedy story in 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to, because the whole release with the Elton John thing was weird too. It was like, it's not the leaked version where we heard like Britney's vocals on the leaked one were very prominent, and then the song gets dropped and it sounds like, is the volume on my phone turned all the way up? I'm like, why does it sound like this? Like, it sounds like her and Elton are the backup singers on a track, and it's like, well, where's the main singer? I don't know. It was just weird. Then she deleted her Instagram, and
But then she came back, didn't she? It's a lot.
Yeah,
Britney's exhausting.
it's exhausting. It's
She's
exhausting.
exhausting.
So, what wasn't exhausting this week was reality TV. I was here for it because last week was personally a snooze fest. I started the week with Real Housewives of Atlanta, and honestly, overall, a snooze episode. But
I'm gonna say it's still snooze.
But I am here for everyone riding Cherie's ass for this fucking clothing line. Because at what point, I think it was Candy or Todd who said it. It was like, this is the most famous brand. Like the fact that you haven't like reached out, or maybe you don't even check your emails, because the fact that Fashion Nova hasn't reached out to you, or Sheen, or one of these, you know what I mean, Rue 21, anything. Like, at what point do you just say, hey, can you just slap She by Sheree on this and just put something out? Something. Because these samples, and trust me, you guys, like, samples and finding the right product, that stuff does take time. It doesn't just take a year. It's hard, especially if you want it a certain way. But this is like, I mean, this is how many years? We're going on a decade?
This is 15 years easily. And she said over $1 million.
I just think she meant, you know how people like, it's like, it could have been like $500. Like, oh my God, it was just like thousands of dollars. It's like, it was not.
I mean, I really hope so, because if you have spent over $1 million and you still don't, and all you making is joggers, like, it's not like you are making silk hand sewn couture and you can't get your joggers together for under $1 million. Like, you got bigger problems. Maybe you don't need to be in this business, like, at all. You need to find something else to do. Like, make some nail art or something.
And she has that girl working with her who went back and forth with Kenya, which was pretty much the most entertaining thing we've seen on the season. We'll see if something comes out of it, because
actually, the most entertaining thing we saw this season is her asking Apollo to model and then getting relationship advice from Apollo Nida. Yeah. A mess. But then I'm like, well, maybe it's not as big of a mess as I think it is, because clearly she enjoys jailbirds. Clearly Apollo has complete familiarity with being a jailbird and having a romance while being a jailbird, because he got that new girlfriend that he ended up marrying that girl, didn't he?
Yeah, but here's my thing, like, but like, so is this a thing for Sheree? Is this like she wants men from jail? Like, is that love after lockup? Like, is this literally like a thing for? I mean, that actually makes this whole show more interesting. Like, because who would have thought? Sure, like, this is like a thing. Like, she's one of these girls that goes on these websites and is like putting her name and her picture up, and like men from jail are writing to her. I mean, is intriguing.
She dated that man for years in jail, so I think that qualifies you as a person that dates somebody in jail and is fine with that. And
right, but like, okay, I can understand falling in love with somebody, and like, I can understand it one time, honestly. Like, especially for someone like a Sheree. Like, girl, you know, I'm gonna say after 2017, I'm gonna just say, and I have Whitney Houston, I believe in the impossible. But I think with Sheree, it's like, okay, girl, like, you on national television, like, you already have been dragged through the mud by this man at this point, and like, who are we looking for now? And I thought it was interesting because someone tried to be messy on Watch What Happens Live with Phaedra, talking about, oh, how do you feel? And Phaedra kept it real cute. She was like, as long as he getting them coins for the kids, she's like, that's all I care about. Boop.
So there you go. So maybe Apollo has some friends, and we'll get some more dates for Sheree with prisoners or former prisoners.
If that's the case, I need her to switch shows, head on over to WeTV, get on Love After Lockup, spice that show up, because it needs some. Because I'm sick of seeing the same couples. I feel like they're just helping couples out now, trying to get, like, look, we'll just
like the same couples when we're actually following their life, but not when they're like randomly hooking up with people that used to be on the show just so they can stay on the show.
Yes, that's random. It's too random. Also, random Real Housewives of Dubai reunion. Did you watch it?
I did. I'm still not super into Dubai, even though I really wish I was, but I'm not into it. But Ayan has become likable to me because she got on my nerves. Like she was trying too hard, in my opinion, in the beginning. But I have come to enjoy her and her shade, and she's funny. And I'm kind of bored by almost everybody else, and most of them I can't even name.
I'm bored by all of them, honestly. Other than Ayan, and then honestly, Carolyn Stansbury, only because she drives the other girls crazy.
Although I love her. Yes, I do love her still because she's just a cold bitch. Like, and it just is what it is, and it works.
Yep, and it works for me. So, all right, go ahead, Dubai. We got the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer. Y'all, Courtney sent this to me.
Ready.
When I tell you,
Ready.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to hit play on that.
Yes.
I hit play on that, and I had my headphones in. That was an experience.
It was an experience.
Look, I always like to say who I think, which season won this year, who had the most entertaining season. Last year, definitely Beverly Hills took the cake. The Erica Jane stuff last season took the cake through all of the housewives. Salt Lake City's getting it this year. Why I think this is happening. I believe Salt Lake City is about to come through. I think we're about to get I feel like this season is going to give us old housewives. And why I feel that is with a lot of these housewives, why I feel like we're sick of them is these girls have been doing it for so long. They know how to poke each other's buttons enough. But to where it's like, oh, girl, I ain't really trying to go back and forth with you. Or they all just kind of get along like what we're seeing on Atlanta, and then it's like these little tiffs. But the thing with Salt Lake City is I don't think these women would actually fuck with each other in real life, which on all of the shows, these women wouldn't fuck with each other. But because this show has forced these women in Salt Lake City, which is not that big, to interact with each other, so much mess has come out of it. Because, again, I don't believe these all come across as women who all these women come across very non-confrontational other than Jen Shah. But this show has forced all of these non-confrontational women to become confrontational. And we are hitting the peak of the iceberg this season. And I just think we're going to get that raw housewives entertainment. And I'm really excited for it. That whatever these rumors are that are going around, last season we had the cult situation with Mary. Like, the storylines that come out of this are just top tier. I'm invested. I'm excited. That trailer, shout out to the editors for that. Winter is coming. Like, it was giving, like, yeah. I felt like Game of Thrones. Everyone's like, oh, Lord of the Rings is coming back. Game of Thrones is coming back. I'm like, Salt Lake City, what? Get me my popcorn, because
Heather Gay had a black eye. We don't even know why.
A full black eye. She was out here looking zooted. Because hang Atlanta up, hang Beverly Hills up. Although I'm waiting for this episode with Kathy Hilton, but this last episode was funny. It was entertaining with Beverly Hills.
Until the end, and then it like went to hell, and they're making Sutton cry, and it's uncomfortably mean girl activity for grown women to be doing.
Okay, yes and no. I mean, okay, yes, 1,000,000% it is, obviously. But we know what this is. We know what this world is. Look, at this point, Garcelle has upset the PTA. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. And the PTA is Lisa, Kyle, Erica, and Dorit. That is who I'm calling the PTA. They have an actual nickname for them. I call them the PTA. Because
who is Diana in the
PTA? Diana is the mom that becoming sometimes, but be acting like she there all the time. And it's like, Diana, sit your ass down because you thought you was real cute with that little cunt joke. But, bitch, let me reach across here and slap you across the face, girl, because you sound crazy. And that was
and then she got all aggressive and yelling and kept licking her lips all fast and yelling. I was like, oh, this is disgusting. I can't deal with this whole situation.
But then at the same time, it's like, Sutton, stop playing the role of a victim. Because here's the thing. Sutton does put her 2 cents in. You put your foot down in certain things, and it's like, that's fine, but you have to know, like, something's gonna come back to you. And yes, I do.
I agree with that. It has back to her, and she also applies like 1,800 times about it. And the way that it came up, and I hope it's editing, but Diana coming so hard at that end of the night when it was not like, that's not what anything was talking about, made no sense, and it was unnecessarily overly energetic. And I just want to see a show that's a road trip with like Garcelle, Sutton, and Kathy.
That might bore me a little bit, but I get what you're saying.
I wouldn't be bored. Kathy just walked in with her slippers and her pillow was funny as fuck to me.
And then talking about, what was it, with the whizzing in her ear, she was like, yeah, I can't go skiing because, you know, I just hear the whizzing. So then I just put my arms out like this, and it was like,
because she doesn't want people to pass her on the mountain.
Which I feel you, girl, because that's why I don't go skiing. Like, I'd be scared going down ski. Like,
yeah, I don't like skiing.
I fell like one time, and then it's hard to get up with like that. That is not fun to me.
Skiing is no joke. No joke. No joke.
She then was also the other thing about Kathy is like, look, when you invite Kathy Hilton somewhere, like, she's a Hilton.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, you know, when you're younger and you knew certain aunts or uncles were coming over and your mom had you like clean the house differently. It was like, oh, this family's coming over. It's not like that family. Like, there's a certain family, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, they can see like the shoes in the hallway. Where then it's like the other family comes and it's like, oh, we need to be like doing the baseboards. Like, that's Kathy Hilton. It just is what it is. You know, she's over here talking about, can we grill the corn?
And they were like, yeah, if you want to wait 20 minutes. But I feel like part of that, like putting her in the bunk beds and all of that, I think that was like Kyle producing. Like, let's do weird things to see if Kathy's okay and try to be funny and like put Kathy in weird situations.
I took that as Kathy is the only one staying at Kyle's actual house and all the girls are going to.
No. Lisa Rinna and Erica are staying at Kyle's house. Oh. That was the whole thing. There were 3 people staying at the house, and then the other girls were at the other house because she only had 3 bedrooms or something.
Whoops, missed that part. So yeah, they're in Aspen, all this stuff goes down, and it goes down because Kyle, head of the PTA, you know, she wants to be the mentor. We get a Ouija board, which what is that? Funny story. I'm watching this, and my nephew, he'll always be in the room with me, but he's never paying attention to this stuff. He calls this the girly shows. Until he watched the Dubai reunion and learned who Andy Cohen was, and he was like, he's cool. I'm like, I love you. Yes, I'm training you correctly. Oh my God, that's so funny. But as he was watching this one, he called the Ouija board a Luigi board, and I thought it was funny. That was too cute. He was like arguing with me. He was like, no, it's the Luigi board. So they do this Ouija board, and Kyle puts out this question, can everyone get along in the group? And everyone's like, oh, girl, what are you trying to start up? And then it goes into this whole thing of Kyle trying to figure out the reasoning behind Sutton and Garcelle unfollowing people, which I understand what Kyle was trying. I understand what Kyle was trying. The point Kyle was not the point. I understand where Kyle was trying to get the conversation to go. She just wanted to hear the original, where this stemmed from, not the stuff in between. And I feel like Garcelle is someone who gives it straight away, but Sutton is someone who paints. It's like, girl, get to what the actual root of the problem is. What is the feeling of it? where did that really come from? And it turned into this big mess. And honestly, I think this is the messiest I've seen Kyle, because it got really dark.
So messy and so dark.
And I feel like I saw like a young Kyle, like a young teen like Kyle, who came out and was just like, when she got mad and like stormed away, I was like, ooh, what do we got going on here? But obviously we've gotten Kathy. She's at this point the comedy of the show, and in the middle of this big fight, Kathy steps in and explains the 3 things that she does not like being called. This is her way of like backing Sutton up. She says, I do not like being called a liar. I do not like being called a thief. And I do not like being called a pedophile. And I'm like, in what situation called you a pedophile?
A mess.
And everyone got confused in the room, because what? That led to Garcelle telling Erica that they don't have to be friends, and they both were like, fine, I'm fine with that too, and fine. And Kyle's still bothered, and it turns into this thing where then Diana, like you said, well, Sutton is upset that everyone is sticking up for Erica, but nobody's bothered that Erica called her a cunt. And everyone was confused by that, and Diana made the comment, well, that's because you are a cunt. And that nobody really agreed that Diana should have said that. And Diana walks out.
But nobody openly disagreed except Garcelle, who checked her. And everybody else is just like, oh, it's just stupid. Like, also, I just think it's funny when anybody calls somebody a cunt, because I'm like, I just think it's the stupidest insult ever. Like, I don't even think it's that serious, but I get it that it's like super serious to some people, and I'm just like, who cares? It's the dumbest word ever. And especially coming from Diana,
like that's what you came up with, like a cunt. Like, first of all, draw a cunt. Give me the correct definition to a cunt. Yeah. Like, what? I can't. Next week looks interesting. We get a clip of Sutton. I mean, this is the only part that looked interesting to me. Sutton and Erica sitting next to each other, and Sutton said something about, I like you, and Erica said, I really like you too. We just have some shit we got to work out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Was this whole thing just for views? Is this I think
that Erica is on and off her medication, and as we see, because you say that's the most interesting thing, I think the most interesting thing about the clip for next week is Erica losing her shit and finally being straight up like, I don't give a fuck about anybody but myself. I don't care about victims, and then running through the house like, I don't care about anybody. It's like, okay, girl, thank you. Like, go ahead and just be your nasty self. And the reality is you don't care about these other people that were harmed, and you're just upset that your life got screwed up because of what happened. However involved you weren't, doesn't matter. You're just mad you're not living the life that you once lived, and you don't give a shit that there are burn victims that you are used to spend their money. Because even her talking in this episode like, oh, I used to fly my own plane to Aspen. I've been to Aspen a million times. It's like, girl, have some self-awareness. It's like, you were spending other people's money to do it. And not just like rich people who have been harmed.
I'm telling you.
And can't pay them.
I think I said this to you last week. Heather McDonald, or the week before, Heather McDonald has a podcast called Juicy Scoop. And 3 episodes ago, she had on one of the lawyers from one of the families that won money from a Tom Girardi situation. You just basically gotta listen like the first 20 minutes to it, because it's like I can't imagine what else she talked to this woman about. I had to stop after like 45 minutes of it, but the first 20 minutes will make you look differently at Erica, because it did for me. Because there was a part of me that genuinely was believing, like, I do think Erica is a smart woman, but I also think it's like Hollywood. It's like, do what you're doing, but don't involve me. Let me just go spend my money. That's really how I envisioned Erica. The way this lawyer makes it painted out, and the thing that the lawyer keeps saying that's super interesting that backs Sutton up is that the lawyer kept saying last season on the show, Erica kept using the words alleged. And she would correct anyone when they would use the word alleged. But at that point, 4 or 5 of the victims had already been awarded, and it had been proven that Tom did steal this money. So the lawyer was basically saying, you know, this is, Erica literally is on TV covering for Tom Girardi. By her acting like, I don't know, by her playing that role, that is softening the blow to Tom Girardi. And she related it to Madoff, Bernie Madoff. And, she said, look at what happened with his wife. She went to Texas. You never heard from her again. She ended up relocating to somewhere in Connecticut, lives on a farm somewhere, and you don't hear nothing about her. She said, so nobody knows what she's doing with her money. Nobody cares. Nobody's chasing her down because of what Bernie did anymore. But now you get someone like an Erica, who in a similar situation is on national television with a sword, like ching ching ching. It's wild times. Like, this is just, you cannot make this shit up. Like, it sounds so crazy, you feel like it's fake, but it's just like, this is the world we live in right now. And this is what we're getting on national television. So it's Juicy Scoop is the name of the podcast. I think it's like 3 episodes. Yeah. And prior, like 2.
Just real quick, I definitely wanted to give Erica the benefit of the doubt last season, because in the end, however much you knew about what he was doing, it's clear that you weren't necessarily the person doing it. Your life blown up this way had to be challenging. Right. I give you that. I'm sure that to go from all of that to what in your mind is nothing is just tragedy, and like you really do have to like reconfigure your life. I get it. So on that point, I was empathetic, but it only became like more and more clear, like when stuff comes up, like silly things like the diamond earrings that are worth $1 million that were bought by somebody else, and then the prosecutors are having to hunt her down to try to get them back. It's like, wouldn't you be giving up, because clearly you have a like Real Housewives salary that's decent, like you can live a good life on it, better than most. Wouldn't you be like, here, just take the earrings? Like, and the fact that your energy is not that is, to me, proof of the core of your being. Because in the end, no, you weren't the one that did wrong, but you are one that can help right some of the wrong. And it's about things. It's not them coming for you and like garnishing your paycheck so that you can't buy groceries. They're like, you have $1 million diamond earrings. Can we have those back to try to give these people some of their money? Why do you need the diamond earrings?
Because her mindset is on the fact that I already don't have an airplane. I already.
But that's my point.
I've already given up my house. I've already given up my airplane. I'm not going to give back my.
But that's the truth, and that's the truth of your character, and that's the truth of your actual character showing. And it's sad because people would empathize with her, and I think she would have made a shit ton more money if she came off as a sympathetic character, because people would want to help her not be destitute because of what her stupid husband did.
Agree, but then now that she's not, it makes me think like, girl, how much did you actually know? Because
exactly.
One
of the show companies was yours.
Well, I need to get off this because you already know I gotta watch my 60 days in, and then actually, you know what I'm about to start tonight, and I'll tell y'all next week, is on Hulu, The Patient, with homeboy from Harry Potter, the redhead, and then what's his name from Michael from The Office, Steve Carell.
Corral.
I heard it's giving like Nicole Kidman The Undoing vibes, which that was one of my favorites. That it was like a 1-season show, so I'm interested to see what this is giving. Also, the fact, this is so random, but I saw this random thing on TikTok, and it was like Nicole Kidman on Vanity Fair eating bugs, and I was just like, is this where we're at in life? Like, this is what Nicole Kidman has to do in her life, like, to stay relevant. Like, hang me up, because, like, what?
They're just being artists.
I suppose. I didn't see nothing artistic about it, but... All right, Courtney, where can everyone follow you and keep in contact?
Follow me everywhere at Stuart Starlet.
Boom. I appreciate you. And y'all can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J. But again, I don't really care about that. All I care, if you made it to this part, yo, you are a trooper. I love you. I appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button. Like, if you haven't made it to this point, like, you hearing me say this, and you haven't hit that subscribe button, like, there's just, like, you're stalking at this point. So just hit the subscribe, leave a comment, show me some love. You know what I'm saying? Like, everywhere at Next Mood Swing. Till next week, same time,
and thank
same
you,
place.
Jordan and Dre.
Yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Jordan. You was keeping all these comments going. Till next week, same time, same place. Peace.